Hello and welcome back to Jurassic County Busways here at the NF garage, where we have a whole bunch of Mercedes Sprinter City 45s. Now these are an additional set of 6 I got. I've actually bought 8 new ones because we were a little bit short, and then I was like, you know what, let's buy a few more. Because I have more plans for tiny little rural services, and off camera I couldn't stop myself. I added in the 378 from Lyndhurst to Cadnam by Emery Downs and Minstead. And I think I'm going to get straight on it with a new local service. If I can find my stuff, there we are. This is going to be the 366, or 361 even, from Exbury, which is up here, to Fawley via, what is this place called down here? It is called Lepe, spelled L-E-P-E, which is interesting. But, Exbury to Fawley is where it's going. So, let's, without further ado, get into the 125th route of the series, the 361 Exbury to Fawley. The 361 is now in place between Exbury and Fawley via Lepe, Langley and Blackfield. I don't anticipate this is going to be very busy. This is going to be another one of those routes with a vehicle requirement of 1. But good connection. People of Exbury into Langley, Blackfield and Fawley, where they can do some level of shopping. And there's connections on into Hythe. So, not entirely useless. But we do want it to run every 60 minutes, because it's definitely not going to have any sufficient demand for 30-minute service. Although, actually, this is rather promising. And the timetable for the 361 is now done, running from 6:04 till 21:04 outbound and 6:30 till 21:30 inbound on Mondays to Fridays, and on Saturdays it runs from 7:04 till 8:04 and 7:30 till 8:30. It takes less than half an hour to go each way, so it has 3 minutes to wait at Fawley and 11 minutes at Exbury. Just one bus going backwards and forwards all day. That's the 361. And we can activate that now. Because it's not going to run the last bus tonight, because it would leave Exbury in 6 minutes. But that is that. And it's also time to look at accompaniments to the 360, which we put in last week, and haven't activated yet. But this is going to be part of 3 routes through Beaulieu, which is a significantly better service than Beaulieu gets in real life. Does it even get a regular service? I swear it doesn't. I'm now checking bus times. Bus times. Beaulieu. Right. So make sure I've definitely clicked the button. So it gets the 112 from Hythe Ferry to Lymington, which is kind of like the 360 but less direct. But there are some services that also run that also do run very direct. This is going to be the 365, which is going to be, hang on, I decided my numbering based on how the roads are numbered. Which one is the 365? The 365 is Brockenhurst. Brockenhurst to Hythe. So, yeah, so there's the 112, which runs to Norleywood from Hythe Ferry. Get my bus times window back because I closed it by accident. Beaulieu. There's also the 113, but that only runs once a day. The 761, which is a school bus. And then services to Brockenhurst College, C4, C7 and C12. So it really doesn't get much. The 112 only serves Beaulieu 4 times a day. So it's not exactly well served. And not to mention its nearest railway station is Beaulieu Road, which is up here. Or Brockenhurst, which is over here, obviously. But let's get this started by going to Brockenhurst. Just calling it Brockenhurst. And following the 338 out, initially, like that, to Brockenhurst College. And then, we'll see what happens next, if PostMe is willing. The 365 is now done, between Brockenhurst and Hythe via Beaulieu and Dibden Purley. This route is going to use the Mercedes C2K Citaros, just like the 360, and it's the third accompanying route, which will run from Lyndhurst. And the 365 is now done, running every hour from just before 6 till just before 9 outbound, and from 6:45 till 10:15 inbound during the week, and on Saturdays from just before 7 till just before 8 outbound, and 7:45 till 9:15 inbound. Vehicle requirement on this route is just 2. And that will go from NF later. Next, we go back to Lyndhurst, which is the site of the cheeky off-camera edition of the 378. And the site of our next on-camera edition, the 356. Which... yeah, it's also going to go to... it's also going to be Hythe. I was sort of like, do I send this one to Hythe? Do I send this one to Dibden? I'm just going to send this one to Hythe. So, yes, this one is going to be the 356 Lyndhurst to Hythe. And we're going to start there. We're going to go out there. And I'm going to check that that is the way I'm meant to be going. Yes, it is. The 356 is now done. This one took a little bit to plumb in, and it does go a substantially different way between Purley and Hythe to allow an extra little connection up to Holbury, and this little connection through this side of Hythe. In fact, this route is going to get a Sunday service to Holbury Road Shops, or Holbury Drove? That's an interesting name. Yeah, Holbury Drove Shops is going to be the extent of a Sunday service from Hythe on this route. So, let's get the timetable done. And the 356 is now in, running every hour from just before 6:30 till just before 9:30 outbound, 7:20 till 9:20 inbound, with an additional bus at 22:20 that runs short to Beaulieu Garage, just to bring it a little closer to home, on Saturdays, I've only done the outbound timetable. Oh no, I've only done the outbound timetable because this timetable works for Saturday as well. So on Saturdays, reduced operating hours, and because of the reduced operating hours on the outbound, the last inbound doesn't need to run, and this can remain as is. On Sundays, it runs short from Holbury Drove shops to Hive, just to provide a little bit of a town service. So, that is all she wrote for today in terms of new routes. And it is probably all she wrote for Beaulieu. Beaulieu is now very well served. It now gets 3 buses an hour in each direction at least. The 360 might even be 2 buses an hour by itself, in which case Beaulieu would be getting 4. So, compare that to 4 buses a day that it gets today. Beaulieu's doing well for itself, for being part of the Jurassic County busways network. Now, I have forgotten to launch or to finish the repaint making of the MCS, so I'm just going to take a little break, fire up Photoshop so that I can get that finished. It's not even a Photoshop template, it's a Paint.net template. I'll bring it back when it's done. And here is the new MCS type for New Forest Greens. It's a C2K Citaros, the short version of the 2nd generation Citaros. I love these things. I've probably said that a lot this series, but I do adore the Citaros. And it's all, you know, it's all proper, it's all as it should be. And you should know me by now. I love a thumbnail screenshot. So I've just got one. And we have the, I believe this is the letter N. In Morse. And the contrasting front panel is now standard. So I will apply that. And run the game. We bought 8 of them to launch all 3 of our new services. They should all be in now. So, ooh, hello. That's not got the right license plate. That should say BV18. And I'm going to continue off from these C2s, which are HX18NF, HX18NFG, no, NFJ. So first of all, New Forest, copy, destination display, NF, fleet number, this is going to be MCS 127, license plate is going to be HX18, where are we, NFJ. And now I will get the rest of these done in a little jump cut. And finally we have HX18NFR, better known as, oh come on game, don't lag while I'm trying to be smooth. It's HX18NFR, better known as MCS 134. Bear with. So our new C2Ks are in. And they are looking very, very good. Alongside the C1s, the 0530s that came over from the island, which came over from Kent. And and the booster fleet of C2s, which are also very pretty. So, I'll get these activated and I will bring you back for the first bus on the 356, 360 or 365. Right, so it is now the morning and it is time for the first of the 360s. I don't actually have enough of them because the 360 is half hourly. But we are running through East End now. We're just in front of a 37, that will be a 37A, because it's going anti-clockwise around the circuit. And we do not have many people on board, but it is also just gone 6. So it's very early in the morning. We're just coming up through East Boulder now. And when we get into... Actually, when we get into Leamington, or not Leamington, Hythe, we might actually have a bit to wait because the other two routes start significantly later than the 360, and the 360 is also double the frequency. So I need to get another 4 of these MCSs, which is fine. I bet that's another 360. And now that we've hit the urban area, we are getting busy again. And the 360 is just straight into town, it doesn't do any local coverage nonsense. And because of that, it's rammed. It's actually full now. Right. You, going that way, are a 365 to Brockenhurst. And you are rammed. Oh dear, maybe I should have got full length Citaros. It'll be quiet once we get to the other end of, Dibden Purley, surely. It's quietening down significantly now. Yeah, 30 on board as we leave Dibden Purley. More on board than I would have thought, but significantly fewer on board. What is that? That is... I don't know what that is. That could either be a 360 or a 365. And we're now coming down through this way. Very, very good commentary, well done. This is Hatchet Gate. Okay. Well, that's definitely a 365. Now we're on the road where the 365 is the only bus. And where it will remain the only bus, because, if anything, we're over-serving this area with the number of stops that I put down. So yeah. Coming down through Bulmer Lawn Road. And into Brockenhurst. Isn't that nice? Now we have a 356 to go see, and that's headed down Beaulieu Road. With 6 on board, and you know, in real life that would be whizzing past all of these stops rather than actually stopping but picking no one up. Now we have 12 on board. There's a 7 on the Isle of Wight that is 79 minutes late, and a 1 that is 24 minutes late. There's a lot of delays out of SV at the moment. That's not good. I need more facilities. I don't know what I need more of, but I need more facilities. Something I am a little bit glad of is, or glad for, don't know, something I'm a bit glad about is the busyness through Beaulieu. I thought I would be way over serving Beaulieu. Turns out Beaulieu is just way underserved in real life, which, you know, the bus industry in the UK in the 21st century, of course Beaulieu's underserved. But now we're heading up through Holbury and Hardley, and we go down this way and around this little estate, which is really busy. Yeah, that's really busy. Ugh. I definitely need more C2Ks, because what I might do is put in a sort of Hythe town service that covers the areas that the 356 and 365 cover, sort of more usefully, and make them run at every sort of half-hour frequency or more, maybe every 15 minutes. It looks really, really busy. That's really busy. But you know, busy's good. Busy is very good. And it's something I can do off camera, because we've seen all the nonsense that I've gotten up to. Let's check on the 361. Absolutely rammed. 361 rammed. I reckon, though, that it might be helped by an additional bus in the hour between Langley and Fawley, rather than an additional bus in the hour along the full length of the route, just between Langley and Fawley, which I'm perfectly capable of doing. And lots of people getting off at Lepe for the beach, which is very nice. What would be really nice to see is if certain types of points of interest could be weighted so that they're sort of busier on weekends. I don't know if that's already a thing. That might already be a thing. I don't know. But that's the 361. Exbury to Fawley. We leave at 9:04. What's the frame rate looking like for 2 times speed? Alright, it's fine. Yeah, we're fairly quiet through here. No one getting on at Lepe Beach yet. And as we get into Langley, boing. Very busy, wow. Yeah, that definitely needs another bus in the hour, because we are full. We're not leaving behind too many. That's why I suggest that we only need one more bus in the hour of MVs. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this off camera. It's going to go from Fawley down to Whitefield Farm. There's like a little sort of business park type thing, like a business incubator type site here, as well as like there's a few little restaurants and stuff, and it looks like it should have enough space for a bus like an MV to pull in and turn around. So I'm just going to put in another stop, Lepe, and so it's going to say that it terminates at Langley Whitefield Farm. And that will be the 361 complete. Then I need to look at Hythe, Dibden Purley and Dibden, get a town service going in this area that would be useful. I'm not saying I'll do all of that off camera, but I could do some of it off camera, and that would be probably good. So, I will go back to NF and see who's left. There should be some MVs in. I don't think there'll be any MCSs in. There might be a couple of MCs in, depending on if there's some that aren't going out to the afternoon. But I think all the MCSs are out. Because we are short, there are actually plenty of full-length MCs out on the 356, 360 and 365. So I need a fair few more MCSs, but that was always the goal, to have lots of MCSs out of NF. Well, it appears the game is not cooperating, so we're just going to end on the map screen looking over at Brockenhurst, which is being blocked by the depot selector. So yeah, from looking over at Brockenhurst, which is being blocked by the depot selector, I will see you next week with National Busways South Coast Busways. I will see you next week from South Coast Busways and Jurassic County Busways in City Bus Manager. Bye bye.